Go.
My presentation is assessing the problem of social media. So to give a background, social media can be generally defined as specific websites or applications which are made to connect people and to bring together cultures and different groups of peoples in a somewhat celebrated way. So the first website known as social media was invented in 1997 by Andrew Weinreich, as stated by the Maryville University College. Now, this website lasted from around 1997 to 2000 after funding stopped and they couldn't fund it anymore. But it shows that it was later they later had inspiration for websites like Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, which, as stated by Shedna Negat for the CBS News source, 6 Degrees was kind of the inspiration for it and the backbone, as it had the same relative function, putting in your email and being able to connect with other people. Now, social media is still seen being used by 3.6 billion people today, as stated by Statista, and social media also brings together another key factor in the world, group synchrony. So group synchrony can be defined by American psychologist Michelle Gelfand for the stimulus packet as something where people come together as a group to collectively get things done. So a specific example of this could be getting a group project done. You're coming together to accomplish a certain objective and to reach a certain objective point. Now, group synchrony has a lot of positives, such as more efficiency to get things done, more cohesion among people, and a lot more able to assess ideas and able to reach out to different people. But while this is the case, its negatives outweigh its positives, and these negatives are group aggression if people can't agree on a certain topic, less creativity if not as many ideas are being offered, and the worst factor, negative groupthink, which is exactly as it sounds. People coming together and giving negative ideas. Now, you might be wondering, how does this play into social media? Well, I can separate it into 3 different factors: misinformation, in-group favoritism bias, and hate speech. So, misinformation is defined by Yu, a researcher for the Cornell University School of Human Ecology, as something that is made to spread false information online and is made to strike at oblivious consumers who choose to disseminate this information, causing more problems as a domino effect starts. Now, it's been seen in more recent years online as more controversies have arisen, but no controversy has been more big and more controversial than the COVID-19 pandemic. Elias Barron for the Norwegian Center for eHealth states that these disinformation claims were made just for chaos or for a small strike at attention online. Now, as said by the Johns Hopkins School, these different claims were things like 5G causes the coronavirus or masks aren't bad. All of these things come together to cause chaos as a collective group and is one of the bigger problems as seen in recent years. Now, the second issue as seen in recent years online is in-group favoritism bias. So in-group favoritism bias can be defined by Jim A.C. Everett for Oxford's Department of Experimental Psychology as the tendency to favor different members of a group compared to others. Now, Sheris Gerhardt, a professor, states that online has been seen in recent years influencing in order to get your way, in order to win, by gathering a collective group of people. It is also known as unfair favoritism. Now, its tie-in online is digital politicism. So Sylvia Noblock-Westerwick, a professor at the School of Communications for Ohio State University, states that biased favoritism is used to subject specific demographics to vote based off of not what they think, but based off of what other people think through campaigning and reaching out and forcing people to interact with them in order to get their way and to win certain elections in the US and seen in social media. Now, the last issue is hate speech. So hate speech can most simply and plainly be defined as people coming over others to put down people in order to show dominion over others. On social media, as stated by Stephanie Beach for the Vermont Law Review, people have reported that most people are attacked based off of their inherent qualities. For example, minorities and different people in that vicinity are being attacked just because of their social identity. Now, not only has this affected online, it's affected in real life, and as the Council of Foreign Affairs unfortunately states, the Charleston church shooting is a great, honestly bad, and awful example of this. So the story behind this is that a white man came to a black church and shot 9 different individuals just for their race. Now, you might be asking, how does this tie into social media? The person who was responsible for this shooting joined white supremacist groups online in places like Instagram and Twitter, and even worse, learned how to use a gun by looking it up through different social media sites, which shows that it's not only affecting people online, but it's affecting people in real life, innocent people who don't deserve to have their lives taken away. Now, while there is a lot of negatives, and honestly it overshadows positives, people will argue that there is actually a lot of benefits to social media. Scott Lewis, for the Social Science Review, argues and states that it is actually responsible for forming people's personal identities and personalities online. So people will go on social media and seek influence from others and take it into their own, and then will continue to bring that and can carry it with their personality as they grow and go on, showing that it actually is formative to people's self-identities. Not only that, Scott Lewis further clarifies that it is actually helpful in bringing people together in ways never seen before in recent years. So it's a way of connecting and reaching out to people and kind of making these strong connections between people that you might have not been able to find in real life. And it's an easier way to go on a window in social media and do it that way. Now, while that is the case, unfortunately, both of these can be very quickly disproven. So another writer at the Johns Hopkins School and for the stimulus package, Catherine Monroe, in her article Fast Fashion is Taking Over the World, states that your social identity online isn't actually brought back in a positive way, it's actually put down in a sort of quest for perfection. Now what she means by this, and a great example, is actually models online. So these models will post these different things and show all these different trendy clothes. People choose to follow them and they continue jumping back and forth trying to go after it in order to show that they're in vogue, they're following these trends. But really they're wasting their time and money, and it's just bringing them down because they realize they'll never live up to the people they're trying to live up to. Now, not only that, the Forbes news site states that when people are actually being brought together online, most of them are actually being spread apart, and this is through different viewpoints and perspectives. People, even of their own cultures, will offer different ideas which are usually negative, and it causes group synchrony to come back in a way of negative groupthink, where people are constantly being divided in different ways instead of being brought together as social media was made to do. Now, all of these things can come together and ask us, what can we expect for the future of social media? Now, Maryville University has stated that in the past there's been many different attempts to stop it, ranging from fact-checking or getting certain groups to come together to bring down hate speech and things like that. But they've all fallen flat due to the fact that social media is ever so fast growing, and statistics states that by 2035, 4.4 billion people will be using social media, showing it's on a very blind road going forwards. But if there was something I could offer from a subjective viewpoint, the best solution would just simply be unplug. Step back, take time away from spending on social media, and do things in real life that aren't so dependent online. By doing this, hopefully we could see a future change, but for now, we will never know.
Thank you. So Brayden, how did your research question evolve as you went through the research process?
Yeah, so my research question was kind of the backbone for this entire thing. It was, how does misinformation and group favoritism, bias, and hate speech affect online? But it kind of grew and changed as I began to learn more information, especially about certain things like in misinformation. I thought misinformation in the research question, I was just targeting things like people saying some stupid false thing for satirical meaning, and then it wouldn't really go anywhere. But Mark Fisher from the Washington Post actually states that misinformation has shown a lot more negative effects on social media. And something that really changed my mind about this whole thing and made my research question kind of evolve into the more complex thing it is seen in this presentation was about this thing called Pizzagate, where there was a pizza place in Rhode Island that was shot up, and it turned out to be people were spreading false facts on false news sites about it being behind a pedophile sex ring led by Hillary Clinton in order to kind of bring down her election. Showing that a lot of the information that I originally had in my research question had evolved because many of these topics are way more complex and there's a lot more rabbit holes into each one.
Okay, and what additional questions emerged from your research, and why are these questions important?
So an additional question that I actually posed is, if there isn't a lot of solutions in order to fix these problems, then what can really be offered? Because people keep saying that there isn't really solutions and that social media is growing, but if that's the case, I feel like that there should be something that we can really kind of put together. There's an initiative, but there's just an initiative that people aren't seeing. And so the question I really wanted to ask is truly, what can we do in order to stop these things, to stop the future of social media from going negative? Because as seen, as stated by Maryville University, and by Forbes, and by Carolyn Monroe, there isn't really any positive outtake and outlook for the future.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Blake.